How's it going? And welcome back to Chasing Victory with Ben Valiant and Jason Lee. I'm Ben Valiant and that's Jason Lee. And today we got an NFL Week 17 recap for you. We're going to start it with the Giants. What an awful win. We'll start with you, Jason. What do you think of it?
First day of 2025, and we're talking about why the Giants screwed up by winning. They won. They put up 45 points against the Indianapolis Colts, and a lot of people are pissed off. And it's weird. Like, where was this all season? Like, I get it's the Giants. I get they're a young team, but like, where was this? Like, why now? Like, why did you turn on the brakes now when it wasn't supposed to happen?
Why now, indeed? I'm a Giants fan. You're a Cowboys fan, so you got to be loving this. But for me, it's like the formula was so simple. You lose two games, you get the top pick. You see, maybe you take Shadur Sanders, maybe you take Cam Ward, maybe you trade back. It was all out in front of them. But no, we want to go put up 45 points against the Indianapolis Colts, who were still in playoff contention at the time. What? Why? Like for Drew Lock, I get it. For I don't even know who else. Like Wan'Dale Robinson's going to be back next year. Malik Neighbors will be back next year. Tyrone Tracy's going to be back next year. All these guys are going to be back next year. They should want to lose this game. It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. I feel you. Like Drew Lock played like prime Tom Brady. That was the headline. Like 309 yards, you got 4 touchdowns. Like wow, they found their quarterback. The Giants have found a quarterback. Week 17 of the season, but that he's obviously not going to stick around. He might be a backup next year. I don't know. But guys like Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors probably had his best game all of his career. That's for sure. And like I don't know. Like the thing is, you're still in a decent position. You're 3-13. You're playing the Eagles. The Eagles are not. I don't know how that game's going to go anymore. Like, granted, it's in Philadelphia, but Jalen's not playing. Saquon's not playing, so there's no record anymore. I don't know if the Giants could win this game. And if we're looking at a 4-win team now, they might have just dropped to 7 or 8.
Yeah, and it's realistic that they drop from 1 to 7 in 2 weeks. Now, we were talking about it the other day off the show. For the plan for the Giants, in my mind, you say they're probably going to stay at the 4 pick right now. If they do that, the Raiders right now are at the 8th pick. I think the Raiders are going to be willing to trade up to 4. Right now, Tankathon has Shadur Sanders and Cam Ward going 2 and 3. I don't think the Browns take a quarterback. I think they stick with Deshaun Watson. So the Raiders are still, they want Shadur Sanders. It's been like, I think, and they need a quarterback, whether it's Shadur Sanders or Cam Ward. They need a quarterback. You trade back with the Raiders. You draft Will Campbell at 8. And then in the second round, you take Jackson Dart. I am a huge proponent of Jackson Dart. I think he's going to be a top quarterback of this class. And he's going to be the guy that the Giants should end up picking. And it's going to be a mistake if they don't. That's the plan for the Giants.
Yeah, I agree with the plan, but here's the thing. Will Campbell is 1,000% the best O-lineman in this draft. There is nobody compared to Will Campbell. And Will Campbell is, I don't know, a lot of teams can jump up and be like, you know what, we'll take the offensive lineman. He's a big guy. He's 6'6", over 300 pounds. Like, what's not to love about an O-lineman that's that tall? But, like, it's really hard, like, from a GM standpoint. Granted, we're not GMs here, but if, let's say, the Raiders are obviously going to take a quarterback. The Titans are most likely going to take a quarterback. The Patriots are not. They're probably going to take Travis Hunter. If you're 4, let's say you lose against Philadelphia, you're the 4th overall pick now. Do you take Will Campbell there, or
No,
do you trade down?
no, you trade down. And I think this is going to change because as we get closer to the draft, we're going to have a more clearer view of what teams are going to do after pro days and after camps go by and GMs really decide what they want and plans get leaked. We're going to see who's going to take who. It's going to be pretty crystal clear, especially with a draft class like this, where it's a lot of really top talents at the start of the draft. We're going to know who everybody's going to take. So if you feel the notion that Will Campbell won't be there at 8, don't trade back to 8. Maybe you take him at 4, and then you still do the same thing and you take Jackson Dart in the second round. But if you don't think Will Campbell will be off the board if you trade back to 8, why not? You're going to get a lot of picks from it, and that seems like the best move in my opinion.
It is, but I feel like, you know what? Let's give you Will Campbell at whatever pick you get him. But is Jackson Dart really the move? I mean, yeah, he's a great quarterback. He's got like all the things to him that make him a great quarterback, but ranked, he's almost bottom of the barrel when it comes to these top quarterbacks in the CFB. He's almost bottom of the barrel. Guys like Kyle McCord is better than him. Dylan Gabriel is better than him. Carson Beck is better than him. Are you willing to reach for somebody? Granted, Jackson Dart looks phenomenal in college, but are you willing to reach for somebody where that's not really that good and has a few more flaws than guys like Dylan Gabriel or Carson Beck? I don't know. It's a really tough decision. You have to take a quarterback here, though. That is paramount. That if you walk into next season without a rookie quarterback that you drafted, you're done. You're screwed, and you might as well wait for the next year to try to get Arch Manning. But I don't know. Is Jackson Dart the move? Is Carson Beck the move? Or even, you know what? Maybe it's not even a trade down. Let's say they want it. Cam Ward is there. Shedeur Sanders is there. Do you take them right there at 4? There's a lot of questions with the New York Giants. I mean, like, there's a lot of questions. There was a lot of questions this offseason with Saquon. There was a lot of, like, oh, who are we going to draft? Or are we going to draft a quarterback last year? It looked like they were. It looked like they were in a position for a J.J. McCarthy or trying to see if they can miraculously trade up for a Jaden Daniels. I don't know. And they didn't. They passed on a quarterback last year. Does it happen again where they do not take the best available quarterback and they settle?
Jaden Daniels should have been what they did last year. I don't think it mattered how much like you would have had to give it up. He's clearly like a generational talent. He is so good. And the thing is with me and Jackson Dart, I think I like his like swagger. I like the mojo he brings to a team. I like his measurables. He's got all the tools. And you give him a quarterback whisperer in Brian Daboll to transfer his knowledge and get him incorporated into his system. I think Jackson Dart's the guy. But the other thing is, if the Giants don't draft a quarterback, there's other options, whether in free agency or on the trade market. Let me pose to you an insane idea that I doubt this happens, but if it did, it's an incredible long shot to happen. The New York Giants trade for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, I was watching him Thursday night football against Seattle. He looked like he did not want to have anything to do with the Chicago Bears organization. He looked like he wanted out of there. They just fired their head coach. They're going to need a new head coach. What if the Giants give them their first and second round picks this year, trade for Caleb Williams, and then go out in free agency and completely revamp this offensive line?
Are you out of your mind?
No, I'm not.
Caleb Williams. The Bears drafted Caleb Williams to be the quarterback of the future. He's not the problem. We figured it out. Everyone blamed Caleb Williams because you always blame the quarterback, but it wasn't him. He was fine. The pieces around him are complete garbage.
I get that. He's getting booed off the field. He looks like he wants to be anywhere except Chicago.
Why would he want to go to you? It's worse. It's worse. He has less weapons to play with.
It's not that he's choosing to come play with us. He's going to get traded out of there. He's going to force his way out of Chicago. He doesn't have a no trade clause, I don't think. He forced his way out of Chicago, and the Giants give the best offer. That's how it happens.
Why? There's no way. Caleb Williams goes already? When have you seen a quarterback get drafted, a first-round quarterback get drafted, play one season, his rookie season, and poof, he goes to another team? I don't think that's ever happened before. Like, why now? What did Caleb Williams do to
It's because he doesn't want to be in Chicago. He's gonna try to force his way out, is the thinking. And I don't really think it's gonna happen. but that would be, I think, like it's a long shot, but there's a slight possibility it could.
I mean, his let's see if it does have a trade clause. Let's see,
Now he
because
does on a rookie contract.
his contract, they got him a 4-year rookie contract for $39 million. That was his rookie deal. He's the number 1 overall pick. I mean, I would know it. Caleb Williams asked Bears for no franchise tag clause. Okay, so they won't franchise tag him. I mean, it can happen. But what are you gonna give up? What if you want Caleb Williams?
Second round pick this year.
This year.
And then probably other like filler picks and stuff like that. Maybe your second round pick next year, something like that.
You're gonna give your first 2 round draft picks this year. You're gonna give the Bears the 4th overall pick, and you're gonna make them go quarterback shopping again?
Yep, I am.
There is no world where Caleb Williams puts on a Giants uniform, right? I mean, maybe there is like in 10 years' time, but not now. What do you see in Caleb Williams that could benefit the New York Giants organization?
You said it yourself. He's not the problem in Chicago. It's the pieces around him. And in New York, if the Giants go out and revamp their offensive line, which I think they have a chance of doing, everybody except Jermaine Illuminor and Andrew Thomas have to go. Maybe you keep John Michael Schmitz, maybe you don't. Everybody else is gone. Evan Neal is gone. That's especially. Ship him to Beijing. But the Tyrone Tracy you have as a running back. I think Devin Singletary, he might have 1 more year on his contract. I'm not sure on that. But Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors proved they could be viable receivers in this league. He has the offensive weapons around him. Some of them, at least. They need more. They'll draft more. But he's got a good starting foundation.
He does, but the Bears are not going to give that up. They wasted little time on the clock when they were going to draft Caleb Williams because they saw something in him. Of course, was Jaden Daniels the better pick? Yeah, obviously now Jaden Daniels is the better pick.
Well, you can evaluate that. Yeah, it's 1 year.
Yeah, but Jaden Daniels was the better pick. He's the better pick now, but in April last year, he was not the better pick. Caleb Williams was the best quarterback, and that was 100% true because he was the first quarterback taken off the board. But there's no way. I really don't think so. It's either you take a quarterback here, you take a quarterback in this draft class, or you get a free agent quarterback. That's the only way. That's the only thing you do. Like,
what about JJ McCarthy? I think he's the other guy you could trade for. If the Vikings decide to stick with Sam Darnold, they're not going to keep both of them. But Sam Darnold's going to be their franchise quarterback for them.
Why wouldn't they keep both of them?
Because they're going to.
Sam Darnold's their franchise quarterback. What if Sam Darnold gets hurt?
They're not going to keep a guy like JJ McCarthy who is a top 15 pick. They can get so much back for a JJ McCarthy if they trade him. That doesn't make sense.
Well, they're not going to get anything back for JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy got hurt in the preseason. He's done.
There will be a team that gives up assets for JJ McCarthy. That is 100%. The Giants would trade for JJ McCarthy, and I don't want him.
Why didn't you draft JJ McCarthy?
I didn't want him. I'm saying as of right now, the Giants franchise will trade for him, though.
Yeah, but why didn't you go for him in the draft last year?
They shouldn't have. It wouldn't have been a smart move. I'm saying I still don't want him. I'm just saying that there's going to be a team out there that will trade for him.
I'm sure there is, but JJ McCarthy is going to go to Minnesota. I feel like he's going to stay there a few more years. Sam Darnold, where did this Sam Darnold come from? Sam Darnold?
Because he's in a good system with a top-of-the-line head coach with 2 incredible receivers in Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson and a really good running back in Aaron Jones and a really good tight end in TJ Hawkinson. He has every piece to the puzzle. And that's where I'm concerned with Sam Darnold leaving Minnesota, where I'm a little bit worried he's a system quarterback. But I don't see a world where the Vikings do move off of him after they're in play for the number 1 seed heading into week 18, a winner-take-all game with the Detroit Lions. Who saw that coming out of Minnesota this year?
No one did. No one did. Everyone thought Minnesota was going to win like 5 games because of the team that there was problems with Justin Jefferson and there was There was problems all over the place, and no one knew what they were doing. And look at this. You're the best. You're one of the best teams, if not the best team in football right now. But Sam Darnold, who knows if this is the same Sam Darnold we're going to see next year and the year after that. You're going to give him a monster deal. Look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins. And
Kirk Cousins is old and he's coming off a torn Achilles. That's not fair.
Okay, he's old, but still, it's a veteran quarterback who played a serviceable year the year before he went to Atlanta. Look at that.
He's got a lot of targets out there. He's got Drake London. He's got Bijan Robinson. He's got Kyle Pitts. He's got what's his name? Ray McLeod.
But he sucks. He got benched in 15 games.
Yeah, that's saying. He's saying the thing is, once Sam Darnold leaves this system, I'm worried he's not going to be the same. That's why the Vikings should keep Sam Darnold. I think if he stays in Minnesota, he'll have the same level of production. He'll be consistent in what he's done there. Look, Kirk Cousins was awesome in Minnesota. The last 2 years, he played a really good quarterback before he got hurt. Sam Darnold's come in and he's done the same thing. The Vikings should keep Sam Darnold. Even if he is a little bit of a system quarterback, he's worth it.
He is. He should, but like I'm saying with Kirk Cousins, he played a great year. He played great years in Minnesota. He goes to another team. He gets all this money, and now he was terrible this year. Is that the same for Sam Darnold? Let's say they give him a monster deal. Is he going to suck next year? Is he going to go back to the Sam Darnold that we all know?
I don't think so.
Who knows? I mean, is J.J. McCarthy a possibility for the Giants? Maybe. But that's the same for every.
You could say the same thing. If J.J. McCarthy gets his chance, is he going to suck? Maybe, maybe not. You don't know that. That's a complete hypothetical. And it's more likely that Sam Darnold is better than J.J. McCarthy.
I would say so, but back to the Giants, I feel like it's just a weird move. Like Caleb Williams, that really threw me for a curveball. By the way, Caleb Williams. I see where you're coming from. I want it to. I can see it happening. The Bears would never give it up. As bad as their front office is, as bad as their GM is, they would never give Caleb Williams up. Caleb Williams to the Bears is what Victor Wembanyama is to the Spurs. Like, I feel like Caleb Williams stays. You got to take a quarterback here. You got to take either. You know what? If you don't want to go quarterback right out of the gate, and Shedeur Sanders is off the board, Cam Ward is off the board, then trade down a little bit. Pray Will Campbell is still there. Take him, and then take a guy like Carson Beck. Or I don't even know. Carson Beck's a little.
I don't want Carson Beck. I think
Carson Beck is injured. No, he didn't play the CFP, so I wouldn't know. Dylan Gabriel, he's good. Kyle McCord is.
Good on Kyle McCord.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe Jackson Dart is the move.
Jackson Dart's the answer. He's the one guy that I really trust. And I'll tell you this: I lost a lot of respect for Cam Ward and what he did in the Reese's Bowl. And the Pop-Tart. And taking himself out in the second half, that's gotta be it's such a problem in college football today. And the only solution is for in the NIL deals, it has to be written in that you have to play in the bowl games if you're medically cleared. That's the way it's gonna happen. That's the only way it's gonna happen. And for the coaches, they get bonuses for winning bowl games. So it's gotta drive the coaches insane too. And it's like, I don't know how teams like it. It's like quitting on your team. You came all this way. Like the Pop-Tarts Bowl, it's one of the better bowls that there is. And you came all this way. You were nationally ranked, top 25, I think, at least a little bit this year. And then you just quit after a half. You got your touchdown record. You're like, I'm good. I'll see ya. I'm out. That's not how it is.
That's strange. And he didn't even win the Heisman either. He didn't win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
He had 42,000 yards at Miami. He didn't win the Heisman Trophy. But here's the thing. I mean, is an NFL team going to really pass that up just because you decided to take yourself out of a bowl game? It's not like it was the national championship. It's not like it was the college football playoff. Look at the Cowboys and Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons was a terrible person in the locker room, according to Penn State players that he played with. He was an awful person. Michael Parsons was not that was almost like a negative. Not even, you know what? Like, dare I say it? He was a cancer in that locker room to some people. And you know what? They bypassed it. They took Micah Parsons because Micah Parsons was the best defensive end in that draft. That's why they took Micah Parsons. They looked past all that, off the field stuff. Is it a factor? Yes. Is it really like what's going to like, no, it's not really going to like decide like, oh, you know what? Shedeur Sanders is the better quarterback because he didn't take himself out of a bowl game. Like, it's weird. I mean, I feel like between the two, Cam Ward, I don't even know who the better quarterback is. Like, I can make an argument for Cam Ward, but I can also make an argument for Shedeur Sanders. It's like, I don't know. Like, the whole quarterback situation with the Giants is, there's like a road that leads to 5 different paths. And they just got to drive down the right one, and hopefully everyone looks good. Joe Shane and company draft the right person.
Yeah, there's a part of me that isn't too mad that the Giants won that game. Because in NFL history, there's only been a handful of quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl after getting drafted number 1 overall. It's more the fact that like the formula is so simple. That's why I'm mad. But I mean, I don't know. It might not end up being the worst thing in the world. You might have more flexibility in trading back and trying to trade back because really the Raiders are going to be the biggest suitor. That's who I think is going to be like the only team that's going to trade with the Giants. And for them, they weren't going to move from 8 to 1. Even them moving from 8 to 4 might be a little bit of a stretch, but I do think it's plausible for that to happen. So the Giants dropping down to 4 and potentially dropping more with a win against the Eagles this week, it might not be the worst thing.
Well, let's see. You're looking at this. You win hypothetically. I mean, there's a chance you really do.
Yeah,
you go to 4-13 and you fall. Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that will also be 4-13. So it's a matter of the amount of points you lose by, the amount of NFC teams you lost to. But if they go to 3-14. They go to 3-14. They could still potentially have. I don't even know if they can still have the number 1 pick. They could potentially do. I mean, the Patriots would have to.
Yeah, everybody would have to win, and the Giants would have to lose.
Patriots would have to win. The Titans would have to win, and the Browns would have to win, and you would have to lose. So it's possible for you to have the number 1 pick still, but I feel like you're in a safer spot. You're in a safer spot because I feel like. There's going to be that one team. Like, let's say the chips fall right now and with the same way it is. Patriots take Travis Hunter, the Titans take a quarterback, and the Browns take a quarterback. I don't know if the Browns take a quarterback. Maybe not. Maybe, you know what? Maybe the
Tankathon thinks they will. I'm not sold on that because I don't know how that's going to go over with Deshaun Watson. And if I'm the Browns, I want to cut ties with Deshaun Watson at this point. Like, I'm going to give him a check to go home. That's such a bad situation they're in with him. Like, nothing has gone the way they expected it to. And I'm watching Will Howard right now. He looks like a potential draft pick. He's projected for a 3rd round. His arm looks real good right now.
No, don't take Will Howard. Will Howard is the most hit or miss quarterback. Watch the last game against Oregon. Watch the regular season game. Watch the last drive with Will Howard and tell me if he's an NFL ready quarterback. I don't think he is right now. But
when you're thinking about a quarterback that the Giants are going to take, you have to factor in that Brian Daboll is supposed to be one of the top quarterback coaches in the league. So if you take one of these guys that's more of a project, it might not be the worst thing in the world. You keep them for the first 3-4 years. You let Brian Daboll give them like his wisdom and his coaching. And then after that, that's when and then you hope like they pan out after that.
Yeah, you gotta hope they pan out. Look what happened to Daniel Jones. Brian Daboll gave him his wisdom. Brian
Daboll took over in his 4th year.
Yeah, but still, Brian Dable gave Daniel Jones wisdom, and Daniel Jones balled out for a season.
For a
And
year,
then look what happened. It fizzled out.
1 year. It's not going to work when he's on what, his third head coach at the time and about 17th offensive coordinator. This is the thing with Brian Daboll. The Giants brought him in to draft his quarterback. And it's his choice. And whoever he wants, I'm standing by it. I don't care who it is. I'm standing by whoever Brian Daboll wants. If it's Will Howard, so be it. If it's Kyle McCord, so be it. If it ends up being trading up for Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, so be it. I'm with it.
Yeah, you just gotta trust the coaching staff that you got, and Brian Dable's a great quarterback coach. But I don't know what the Browns do with Deshaun Watson. I cannot see a world where they let him go. Like, they gave him way too much, and if they just say, "Here, Deshaun, goodbye," that would be like the worst contract in NFL history, 1,000%.
Has it not been already? Like, what has he done?
Exactly. It's already shaping up to be the worst contract in NFL history. That it would just be the final nail in the coffin on that. But let's just say they all take. You know what? Yeah, Deshaun leaves, and quarterback he goes to the Browns. Now what do? You're at the 4th overall pick. It's you could take.
It's a weird spot to be in.
If it is, because if Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward are gone, I would not reach on any of the next few quarterbacks.
And I don't want the lineman from Michigan, and I don't want the corner from Michigan. Those two guys, I don't really want either of them.
No, I wouldn't take Will Johnson or the other guy. But it's such a hard decision. Like, you could trade down, but it's so like the Raiders. If Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward is gone, the Raiders would be stupid enough to reach for like a guy like Carson Beck.
Yeah, they would.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they take Carson Beck, he reunites with Brock Bowers, and then there's the best duo in football. Imagine, that'd be funny. That'd be crazy. But I don't know what the Giants do. It's their call. I just hope we don't get another Hard Knocks where we just have to watch their kids say the better player, and then the GM just picks the wrong guy again. I don't want to watch that again.
No. I don't. They don't have to do Hard Knocks 2 years in a row, right?
No, they can't do it again.
Yeah.
I don't want their kids saying, "Oh, let's draft so and so," and then Joe Shane's like, "No," and then here we go again.
Let's draft Jaden Daniels. You only get this shot once. His kid was right, though.
Exactly. Oh my God! Like, you only get this job once. Right. Don't blow it, Jaden Daniels. You could have made. I guarantee you could have made something work.
You could have, like, if you had to reach for someone like Jaden Daniels, and there wasn't much talk about him because everybody knew who was going second overall. He was the guy, though. I always knew that he was going to be better. And even if you had to reach for Michael Penix Jr., I said it. They should have reached for Michael Penix Jr. He's going to pan out to be a really good quarterback. I am a huge fan of his.
Yeah, honestly, now that he's played like a couple games, yeah, there's some flaws to him. But I feel like that might have been a good move. Michael Penix would have been a good move right there. Like, because
he was one of the guys that should have taken. He went really late, I thought.
Could you have drafted? No, he went 8. He went 8.
Yeah, I guess.
So wait, he went 8
after the Giants. Yeah,
you drafted 6. Do you think you would have taken Bo Nix?
I would have liked Bo Nix too. That would have been a real reach, but it would have panned out to be a good one because he's been good.
Look at Bo Nix.
What?
Look at Bo Nix and Sean Payton. I feel like Bo Nix and Brian Dable would have been the exact same thing.
I think Sean Payton's a better coach, but Bo Nix, yeah, he definitely benefits off his coach a lot. And it's because it's not like they have like a crazy team around him or anything. I mean, like Xavier Mims is one of their top targets.
It's Marvin Mims. It's working though. It's working.
It's working
for some point, but I don't know.
Xavier Mims. That was a player.
Xavier Mims?
I swear I've heard that name before.
Xavier Mims?
Might have been a basketball player. No, I don't know who it is.
There's Xavier Cruz Mims from West Essex High School. Yeah. Maybe you like him.
It was Marvin Mims. He was going insane against the Bengals. They had a real nice game. And yeah, the Bengals, I think it's like a real long shot they make the playoffs, but if it happens, that would be awesome. And I'm so happy that last AFC playoff spot is open going into week 18 because it would have been a lot less fun to watch this Sunday if we knew where everybody was in the AFC.
Yeah, like like unlike the NFC is confirmed. It's just a matter of,
You
where
got
the pieces
are all the
fall.
wild card spots filled?
Everyone's in. Everyone's in. The 7 teams that you look at right now are the 7 teams that are going to be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of where they end up, and that's only a few teams. It's only whoever wins the NFC South gets the fourth seed,
And then
and
it's
whoever
the
loses
Lions
goes
Vikings
home.
game.
And then that's insane. Like the Lions Vikings game, one of they're gonna be the loser's gonna be 14-3 and gonna have to go on the road.
That's
Like,
crazy.
how does that happen?
It's the NFL. That division was always going to be really good this year. We thought it was going to be it was always going to be we thought it was going to be the Packers instead of the Vikings, but all three of them got in. So,
Yeah, that's something. I mean, can we move on to the NFC North battle?
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I said it on the last show that I made an argument the Minnesota Vikings are the best team in football, and they proved it. They proved it. So what that they beat the Packers by only 2 points? They still looked like the Minnesota Vikings that I could see making a deep playoff run. Sam Darnold and company looks amazing. There is no flaw on that Minnesota Vikings team. The only thing that's stopping them from even coming close to a Super Bowl is the Detroit Lions. That is the only obstacle in their.
Saquon Barkley?
No way. No way. I could easily see the Minnesota Vikings beating the
The
Philadelphia
Eagles
Eagles.
could absolutely beat the Vikings. 100%. It's gonna be a crazy game either way, but the Vikings could absolutely beat the Eagles.
No.
Vikings are a more complete team.
Oh, wait. You're saying they could beat the Eagles?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. I thought you said the only hurdle was Saquon Barkley. I was like, no.
Well, yeah, Saquon Barkley and the Eagles. The Vikings could beat or no, I'm saying it could go either way.
No. If it's in Minnesota, if Minnesota gets the 1 seed, Minnesota is guaranteed to go to the NFC Championship game. That is a
I think
fact.
I don't know. I don't think it's guaranteed. There's those top three teams, or no, it'll be 1, 2, and 5.
Yeah, 1, 2, and
1, 2,
5.
and 5 are
14 wins, 14 wins, and like
2 and 5 are all
it
the
makes no
same
sense.
teams. And then the Commanders too, but they're frauds. So
They're gonna get out right away. They're gonna play Philly. They're gonna play Philly again, and they're gonna lose.
no, the thinking is, and I've been talking about people with this. The Eagles lose on purpose on Sunday, so they don't have to play Washington first round. They could play. It would be the Packers, I think.
I would not want to play the Packers again. No way.
Yeah, I
You
don't
lose
know.
purposely to the Giants. You screw up their draft picks, and then you go play the Packers. I know for a fact Jordan Love is coming out of that game with some vengeance no one's ever seen before. In that game, regardless if it was in Philly. No one was Jordan Love wasn't home week 1. He was in Brazil. Doesn't even count. It's an away game for him anyway.
Right.
There were more Eagle fans there anyway. So it's essentially another game where he's got to go in front of Eagle fans. I would not want to face the Green Bay Packers in the first round. Well, now speaking from experience last year, I would not want to face the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. But yeah, the Green Bay Packers, I mean, it's either they're going to be 6 or 7, depending on if Washington. I do not see a world where the Dallas Cowboys win with that team. Everyone's done. Everyone is taking a seat and got on their plane to go to Cancun. Everyone's gone. Micah Parsons is probably going to go back with CJ Stroud to China for 2 months. But
How many podcasts they're gonna do together?
oh my God, they're going to sumo wrestle too. But like the Packers are going to be 6 or 7. The Commanders are going to be 6 or 7. Packers lose to the Bears, which I do not see happening. The you know what? If the Bears win, then send Caleb Williams to the Giants. Then send Caleb Williams to the Giants in that trade package. They'll say that right now. But Packers win and Commanders will win. They'll have the same record, but the Commanders have the edge. So, oh no, sorry, the Packers have the edge. So the Packers would go to LA to face the Rams. They beat them before. I think they
And
can beat them
I think the Rams are dangerous. Like I don't think
right
enough
now.
people have talked about them enough. They're a legit team.
Yeah, they just got to get over the hump in the sloppy moment department. Like that's it. Like they just have like these iffy moments, but other than that, that's the team you do not want to face. I will say that.
No,
Commanders will play the Eagles. I feel like it's a lose-lose scenario for both teams. It's like both of them play. The Eagles do not want to play. The Eagles, it's a lose-lose for Philadelphia. The Eagles do not want to play Jordan Love again because Jordan Love is going to, because they injured Jordan Love. They took him out.
yeah.
Philadelphia took Jordan Love out week 1 in Brazil. So I wouldn't want to face Jordan Love, and then I wouldn't want to face Washington again. That game against, like, sure, the first game you won the hands down, but that second game against the Washington Commanders in Washington, you had it and you blew it. So I don't know how good Jaden Daniels is going to be in the playoffs. I don't know how Jordan Love is going to match up this year. Is he going to have the same magic he did last year? But as for the Minnesota Vikings, they're going to be, if they win, you know what? Win or lose, I still see the Minnesota Vikings going to the NFC Championship game at least. Like Minnesota wins, they get the 1 seed. They're going to get matched up with somebody. They're going to get with the lowest of who wins, with the lowest. So like it could be the Rams. It could be it could be the let's say the Lions lose to Tampa Bay again. They've done it. They did it once. They could do it again. Yeah. Baker Mayfield can beat him twice. And there you go. But if the Vikings are the 5 seed, so what? You play the Bucs or the Falcons. It's pretty much a win-win situation there. And then you go on the road to play someone like Philly or Detroit. I don't know. Like you don't want. I say honestly, it's gonna be Minnesota. We're gonna see Minnesota Detroit again. We're gonna see Minnesota Detroit in the end. That's what I think.
That would be awesome. If we see them week 18, it's a war, and then we see them in the NFC Championship.
It was a war. It was like 34-31 the first time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a war week 18 too. This is gonna be incredible. We got predictions coming up Saturday as well. Well, that'll definitely be one of the games we do. Yeah. So you're saying the Vikings are gonna go to the NFC Championship, right?
No doubt.
How do they possibly move on from Sam Darnold after he takes them to the NFC Championship in his first season?
You don't move on. Sam Darnold is the answer now. You figure it out. Here's the thing. And a big thing on this is the coaching dynamic. If the quarterback coach stays, if Kevin O'Connell stays, if the offensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings stays, let's say he doesn't get a head coaching job, those 3 people have to stay in order for me to say that Sam Darnold will produce at a high level next season. If one of them go, it's gonna be downhill from there. I think Kevin O'Connell is a great guy. I'm sure he's gonna stick around.
He'll be there.
But I feel but Kevin O'Connell is not the one that is, having all these one-on-ones with Sam Darnold. It's the quarterback coach. It's the offensive coordinator. That's who's spending the most time with Sam Darnold. They have to stay to keep Sam Darnold at the high level because Sam Darnold was.
I doubt they get.
Yeah, right. But Sam Darnold was never nowhere near this level. He was a complete bust out of the Jets. He was a backup at San Fran, a backup in Carolina, and here we are. He found his footing, and now it's a magical moment that he had, and he looks phenomenal. Sam Darnold, I would give him a big contract, but not as big. Do not go high. Do not go in the, $240 million.
He's not getting
$220 million. So, don't try to outmatch the Cowboys. Let them deal with their mistake. Do not try to outmatch the Packers. Let them deal with their mistake. I say Sam Darnold, give him, because this year, this is the thing. Sam Darnold has not played like this ever in any other system. The last time he played like this was in college. So I'm going to say Sam Darnold sticks around next season. You give Sam Darnold, let's say, a 2-year. Let's give him a 2-year. I'm going to say, let's go with 90-something million dollars. Because that's what I feel like is fair. because there's no way you just dish out six figures. He
Yeah,
does not deserve
I
six
guess
figures
that's
there.
fair.
Granted, he won
I'm looking at the
because
top.
this is not, because Sam Darnold's never had any bright spots other than this moment.
I'm looking at the top 10 like quarterbacks right now. Dak Prescott's the highest, and 9 of the 10 make over 50 million a year. So I would probably give him around that 45 to 55 a year mark. So 90 to 110 over.
45 a year? No.
What are you
Uh,
saying? You're saying 2 years, 45 million?
no. You said 45 million a year, right? You would give him
Yeah.
that?
What are you saying?
I would no. I
You
would
just
give
said two
him
years, 90 million.
okay, yeah. 2 years, 90 million. That's
That's
45
45.
million. 45 a year. That's fine. Nothing more, nothing less. I do not want to see. All right, it's New
That's you
Year's
just
Day.
said.
I'm on break. I do not want to think about school until tomorrow morning. But Sam Darnold, I feel like it's going to be a curse and it's going to be a downward spiral if the Minnesota Vikings just open up their wallets and be like, here's $100 something million, or here's $200 something million. If that happens, I don't see Sam Darnold having the same year. Sam Darnold has to get the right contract because, I get the NFL is a money game, but he's not he's not in the big name club. So he needs to get there first.
Well, you're saying you see Kyler Murray's at 46 million. Do you think he should be paid over Kyler Murray?
Okay, the Cardinals reached. The Cardinals. I don't know how Kyler Murray got
Yes or
46
no answer?
for that one season. They won 13 games and they got bounced in the playoffs. They got destroyed by the Rams. That season, Kyler Murray. So that season overpay. So no, I don't care what Kyler Murray's got, and I don't care what a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is making what? He's got to be like 50 something, right?
He's not even top 10, I don't think. He's tied for 12th. He makes 45 a year. But he signed his contracts before the market
He
really.
signed his contract the moment they won a Super Bowl.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was like
He
originally
signed
like a
his
10
contract
year
at an
deal.
awful time. Yeah.
It was like a 10-year. It was originally like 450 million, and then they just broke it up. They just like
It wasn't a good contract. It
it
was
wasn't. That's
a
why they
bad
broke it up. But Sam Darnold, I feel like you know what, like they can't like just empty out their pockets and reach for like a high value. Like I get he bought out this season. I get he's gonna make a deep playoff run. I get he's gonna win comeback player of the year. But
Deshaun Watson's also at 46 million, by the way.
okay, also we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Deshaun Watson because the Browns are
I
stupid.
mean, Jalen Hurts is 51, Lamar's 52, Justin Herbert's 52 and a half. So that's where I think, based on this year, that's where he should be around 50 million.
But I just don't think you give him that much.
I
Like
think
a year, like you got to give him like a 2 year you got to give him like a 2 year
it's a short
contract.
term kind of prove it, but you're getting paid.
Do not give him like a hefty 5 year
No,
contract.
no, it's
No,
too much.
too, too much. The moment you go into six figures, you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it, and I feel like you just got to find the right amount for Sam Darnold, which is in that 45 million a year. You give him maybe that's 2 years, 3 years around, because I do not see like a world where they just like here's the bag and hopefully you keep up.
I don't know. I think I really like what Sam Darnold's seeing. I agree with you that he should be a little bit less than the 50 million, probably like 48, 49 million over the 2 years because of the aspect that he might be a system quarterback. He also might not though, and this might be legit because coming out of USC, we knew what Sam Darnold was awesome at USC. We know this is what we thought Sam Darnold was going to be. So I think you have to that's a part of it. I mean, he went to the Jets and he was a Panther. Those two teams, like they're cursed franchises. It's also crazy to think he and Baker Mayfield were both on the Panthers at the same time.
That's got to be the most cursed image in NFL history. Just looking at Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold together in a Panthers jersey running out the field, and now look at them. Now look at where they are.
Well, I mean, the Panthers probably do have their guy in Bryce Young. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but David Tepper let those two go, and now look what
Yeah.
happened.
I mean, I don't know. It's the Panthers. They're not going to be good for another 25 years. Um, If that, it might maybe more.
Bryce Young will be 50, and then they'll
Yeah,
be good.
Bryce Young's gonna be retiring by the time he has a team around him.
Right.
But with Sam Darnold, like he's shown like in his college career, and I know college is different than the NFL, that he can be good. So I think you have to favor him a little bit more than someone like Lamar Jackson who played at Louisville. Louisville, I mean, he was awesome at Louisville, but Louisville's not playing the hardest schedule. Um, so you have to favor Sam Darnold's college experience over other guys. And that's where I think he gets a little bit more money.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like I don't know. USC in 2018, is this the right year? Oh no. Okay. This is the right year. Okay. Okay. So Sam Darnold, he looked phenomenal. I mean, he deserved to be a top 3 quarterback. He deserved to go to I mean, granted, he fell into the system of the New York Jets,
Yeah.
and it was just not good at all. Like, I don't know what happened. His best game was 2019 against the Dallas Cowboys, and he never even came close to recreating those stats. He had 7,000 yards. He played only 2 years at USC. He had 7,000 yards, 57 touchdowns. That's pretty good
Yeah.
for a college quarterback.
Awesome.
That's the quarterback we're seeing now.
Yeah.
That's the quarterback we're seeing now. And I feel like Sam Darnold, all right, the length of this contract determines on how far they get. Like, let's say the cookie crumbles and they get out in the divisional round. No, don't. It's going to be a low contract for me. Do not just pull it out and be like, here's your bag. No, like he's got to earn it, and the only way to earn it is make a deep playoff run. Like Dak Prescott got destroyed by the Green Bay Packers in the first round last year. Granted, Dak Prescott played like an MVP all year, but like, what's that to say about Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold's played like an MVP candidate all year, and now
There's been great quarterbacks this year that he hasn't really. He's not as good as Joe Burrow or
he's not good
Josh
as
Allen.
Joe Burrow or Josh Allen, right? He's not good at that. He's not good as those guys, but he's honestly like he's in the mix. He's not like nowhere near like touching the career of Joe Burrow and Josh Allen are going to have, but he's improving. But I feel like it's just you just got to earn. You want it, the money. Like, it's a money game. You want the money. You got to earn the money. Dak Prescott did not earn that money. Dak Prescott should not have gotten $240 million a year.
No,
or not never. A year. $240 million, $60 million a year. He should not have gotten that. No way. Like, sure, you put like an MVP, but maybe like, $50 million less and we have a deal. Like, I don't know. Sam Darnold is going to be great, but it's all a matter of where the Vikings fall, and I can honestly see him making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the Vikings. I mean, the last 2 episodes you've been all over the Vikings. You've loved what they've done so far. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. I think they have all the pieces. I just think there's better teams in the NFC. I think the Lions are better, and like I said, I think the Eagles have a chance at beating them.
No, the Eagles are not. The Eagles are going to fall apart in the playoffs.
I don't know. You're a Cowboys fan. You have to say that. And I'm a Giants fan. I kind of have to say that. But I don't really care because the Giants are so bad. And like, it's like, I think the Eagles do have a chance.
They do. I mean, no doubt about it. They do. I feel like they got to all be healthy. They all got to play at the highest level. They can't have
to come back.
They can't have games like they had against the Falcons or the Commanders or the who's the other team they lost? I don't even know who the other team they lost to was. But they started off 2-2. They looked terrible, and then they turned it on. They won 10 in a row, and look at that. But I feel like the Eagles just need a little more. Like, I feel like in order, the ranking of the NFC, it's going to be I don't even know. You know what? 1 and 2 will decide on who wins and who loses on Sunday. That's what I say. Who the best teams in the NFC are. It's on who wins and who loses. Because the Minnesota Vikings had every opportunity to win that game against Detroit back in Week 6. And they didn't. They had the ball at like 3 times in the last 9 minutes of the game. They had it, and Detroit was healthy. That is the difference. All those members of the Detroit Lions that are on the shelf were there. Every single person. Anzalone was there. Malcolm Rodriguez was there. Hutchinson was there. Lee McNeil was there. Melifonwu was there. All these guys were there that game. Here's the difference. They're not. All those guys are gone, and you have guys like Brian Branch is the sole member of that defense, and he's got to step up. The offense cannot have any errors because you put that defense on the field. Sam Darnold's coming out, and they're going to score.
Yeah, they're going to score. They have a great offense. It's going to be, can the Lions match what the Vikings are doing on offense? It's not going to be really about stopping them because I don't really think that's like a possibility for them to do more than a couple times in the game. Like the Vikings, they're good. I just love what the Lions are doing. I just think they're better, and I think even without the guys, I think they're going to beat the Vikings. And for the Vikings, just talking about you mentioned how the Vikings had the ball a ton of times in that Week 6 matchup. The Packers did everything they could to lose on Sunday. They had the offsides on the field goal. They had the penalty in the red zone. It was bad what the Packers did on Sunday.
Yeah, but the Minnesota Vikings held on. Like, start strong, finish strong. That's the game in the NFL. Start strong, finish strong. And if that's the case, the Minnesota Vikings do that for this game and then the next 3 games. I can easily book it now. You know what? Book it now. If the Minnesota Vikings keep playing the way they're going to play, book it now. Minnesota in New Orleans, Super Bowl 59, the Minnesota Vikings either play the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the two. I don't know who is it going to be, but I'm sure America and the rest of planet Earth would love Josh Allen versus Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl. No one thought that. Wow. 2 2018 quarterbacks going at it in the Super Bowl. There's your script, ladies and gentlemen. And if it's going to be
Josh Allen went 7th overall in 2018. Sam Darnold went 3rd overall. If you're the Giants, here we go. Who panned out better? Josh Allen did.
Exactly right. I mean, that would be 1,000 times better of a Super Bowl than Kansas. If Kansas City makes it, then Kansas City makes it.
Kansas City, but the thing with Kansas City is they're 16-1 at this point and just finding it. They're 15-1, whatever.
It makes they could be 16-1. Now, honestly, I don't know because Denver might win because Kansas City.
They're playing Carson Wentz and everyone, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the problem with Kansas City, though. Right now, let's say none of those starters play. They don't play for another 20 days. They don't play
that's an issue.
2.5 weeks, which is insane. There's no way. You come off almost a 3-week vacation, and you're playing someone that has been there the entire time, that had to claw their way into the playoffs, and that knocked somebody out of the wild card just to face you guys at Arrowhead. I don't know. It could be shaky. I would not want to be the Kansas City Chiefs in that game if the Buffalo Bills go. Yeah, I would not want to play the Buffalo Bills. You're going to play the Buffalo Bills.
And every year the Chiefs beat them in the playoffs. It's laughable at this point.
It's insane. Why
is it going to change though?
Why is it going to change? Because I feel like the Bills got their act together. They didn't need.
But we said that last year. We said that the Bills had home field advantage. This was the Bills' best shot at beating the Chiefs. And look what happened. It didn't work. The same thing is going to happen this year.
Mother Nature blew the kick wide right. That's how black magic works. I don't know if you're aware of it. But anyway.
The Chiefs are very aware of it.
Oh, yeah, they're very aware of black magic. If they weren't, they'd be 6-9 right now. But, here's the thing with Buffalo. I feel like there was not a lot of chaos. Compared to last year's team, on paper, is last year's team based on the names better? Yes. But here's the thing. There were a lot of voices on that team. There were a lot of opinions on that team last year. And now those guys are gone. Stephon Diggs is gone. And now that opens up to these young guys who have exceeded my expectations, exceeded a lot of people's expectations. These guys stepped up, guys like Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. Like, Josh Allen didn't need a superstar wide receiving core. Sure, Amari Cooper's come in. Amari Cooper's played phenomenal. This is like some of the best years Amari Cooper's played. Like, I feel like it can happen. I believe it as long as there is, no dumb mistakes, no errors. You got to make sure you're in a reasonable kicking distance right down the middle. Make sure you're not kicking from the left or to the right. You're kicking right down the middle in that case, because I feel like that's what the game's going to come down to again, as it always is.
Probably.
Or it's going to come down to, five
overtime drive or something.
10 minutes of overtime and 5 touchdowns. And then the Bills blow the coverage and let Travis Kelce get into field goal range. Harrison Butker kicks it, game over. Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. But no, I feel like if the Bills team that played in the regular season needs to show up. Like, because the Bills always beat them in the regular season. The Bills
been for the past 5 years.
Exactly. They destroy them in the regular season. They make them look little. But here's the thing. That team has to show up, because like the Bills in the playoffs against the Chiefs versus the Bills versus the Chiefs in the regular season, night and day. And that can't happen if you want to go to the Super Bowl. Buffalo hasn't gotten back to the Super Bowl since 1994.
Nope.
Exactly. Where are we at? Like 1994, you haven't back. You went there 4 years in a row and you lost them all. I feel like their fan base is like crying at this point for one. Like, they know
that they've been good, but they're also cursed. They're never gonna do it in the playoffs.
Exactly. But like, here's the thing: they know they're gonna face the Beast in Arrowhead. They know it's gonna be an Arrowhead. It's gonna be the AFC Championship game, and we're all gonna go from there. And we're gonna play 4 quarters and see who the better team is. And honestly, you know what? With the way Josh Allen has been playing this season compared to Patrick Mahomes, I feel like Josh Allen can pull it off. But that you can never, ever, ever, ever in today's world bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
That's exactly right. And the thing with Josh Allen is he's good. But once he has to play the Chiefs in the playoffs, if it ends up being the AFC Championship game, nothing ever goes his way. It's always the Chiefs get the big break here. Oh, the Tyler Bass misses a field goal. Oh, Patrick Mahomes drives his team downfield in like 30 seconds to win the game. Josh Allen always gets the short end of the stick. But for the Bills this year, they've got to slay the dragon, and they've got to show the Chiefs that they can do it. I doubt it happens, but this is the year they're going to do it, because there's no other year. Like, the Bills have never been this good. And what you said about Amari Cooper is exactly right. He's been awesome for the Bills this year, coming in at the trade deadline. He's done so much for them.
Yeah. And I feel like guys like him need to step up. This is not I feel like the locker room dynamic is a lot more, peaceful in a way. Like, Stephon Diggs is gone. Tre'Davious White's hurt. Like, you don't have all these loud, boisterous opinions in the locker room anymore. You have a bunch of young guys just doing what they love, and they're trying to win football games, and that's what they've done. They've earned the 2 seed. Granted, I'm sure they've wanted the 1, but the refs won't allow that.
No.
The refs wouldn't allow that. So God forbid the Chiefs have a losing record with Patrick Mahomes. But I feel like it's their time. Like, that's all I'm going to say now. I feel like I would go in more into depth later, like when it's all said and done and the seeds are finalized and the matchups are finalized. But I feel like it's their time, and they need to go out and prove it.
It is their time. It's like, it's got to be this year. We said it last year, like this was it was the weakest Chiefs team, but now it's the strongest Bills team, and this is like really a better opportunity for the Bills to win. All right, that's good to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and following and liking the episode. I'm Ben Ballion, and that's Jason Lee, and you listen to Chasing Victory with Ben Ballion and Jason Lee.